Welcome to Appesco. Today we're going to explore the setup area and its role within the platform. The setup section is crucial because the information you enter here integrates with other Appesco modules such as contract lifecycle and finance. This means that any details you add in this module will be readily available and usable across the app, which is something we highly recommend to enhance your experience. Now let's dive into each page within the setup area. The first page is the Customers section, where you'll store all relevant information about your customers. This includes customer details like name, email, phone number, and whether the customer is an individual or a business. Billing address with fields for the address, city, postal code, and country. Taxation details such as payment terms, tax IDs, and tax status. Additional notes and tags to help you keep track of key details about your clients. Now let's go through the process of adding a new customer. You have two options. You can use the drawer format for a quicker input, or if you prefer a guided approach, expand the drawer for a step-by-step form that will walk you through each step. Customer details. Name. Start by adding a name that will help you identify the customer internally. Then we have legal name. This is the name that will appear on invoices. It can be the same as the customer name or different. Add the customer's email address and phone number. Check the individual box only if the customer is a person and not a company. For the billing address, simply enter the address line. There are two fields available in case you need more space. Enter the town or city, the postal code or zip code, and select the country. Next, we'll add the customer's taxation details. Payment net days. This helps calculate the due date for sales invoices based on the issue date. Tax IDs. You can select the type of tax ID and enter the number. And tax status. Choose from options like taxable, exempt, or VAT reverse charge. You can also select some default settings that will help you when creating an invoice for this customer. These are default bank account, default invoicing company, and default billing currency. In the Other Details section, you can add internal notes. These are for your reference and not visible to the customer. You can also add tags to help organize and filter your customer data, which is useful for creating specific reports and sorting through customers later. Also, you have fields for language, time zone, and website. You have some additional fields for contact information like billing contacts, and shipping address. Once you've filled in all the necessary information, click Create. Don't worry, you can always go back and edit the customer data at any time. Once added, all your customers will appear in the Customers table. Here you can filter by attributes such as flag color, name, customer key, email, or tags. You can sort data in ascending or descending order by fields like name, billing address, email, or payment terms. And you can export customer data. You can choose to export everything or only specific fields that you need. You can also customize your table by using the column section. This allows you to show only the fields that are important to you or add extra fields for more detailed information. If you prefer a more visual approach, switch to Grid View. Here, each customer is displayed in individual widgets, making it easy to see the customer details at a glance. That's it for the Customers section. Now you're all set to manage your customer information in Appesco. Now let's move on to the My Companies section. This is where you'll store all the data about your company or companies if you manage multiple entities in Appesco. This is especially helpful when creating invoices as it allows you to reuse your company information across other Appesco modules without having to re-enter the same data multiple times. Let's walk through the process of adding a new company together. When creating a new company, you'll need to fill out a few key sections. Details. Start by entering the basic details of your company. Title. This is for internal use and can be different from the official company name, which is entered in a separate field. You have some optional fields like website, business email, business phone, and logo. Then you have the billing address. In this section, you'll add the billing address for the company. There are multiple fields if you need extra space for a longer address. Town or city, postal code, and country. Next is the legal information section. Here you'll input the company's official name, the tax ID. Here you can select the type of tax ID and enter the tax identification number, and sales tax rates. You can also define the sales tax rates, which you can later apply to invoices. Just enter the percentage rate that applies. Once you've entered all the information, review the details, and when you're happy with everything, click Create. Remember, you can always go back and edit this data later if needed. If you manage multiple companies, you'll find it easy to filter and sort them in this section. You can filter by colored flags and company title. And you can also sort in ascending or descending order by title, official company name, phone number, website, and even by creation or update time. That's it for the My Company section. You're now ready to manage your company data with ease. Next, let's move on to the Products or Services section. This is where you'll add information about the products or services you sell to your customers. The data you enter here will be used across other Appesco modules, like in finance when you're setting up an invoice. Let's walk through the steps of adding a new product or service. First, add the internal title of the product or service. This is visible only to you. The public title. This is what your customers will see on the invoice. The internal and public titles can be the same, or you can make them different if needed. Description. Add a brief description of the product or service. This helps clarify what you're offering. Unit label. Specify the unit of measurement, for example, hour for services charged by time or seat for something like subscription-based services. And price. In the price section, you'll select the currency, enter the net amount, and add a title for that specific price entry, for example, standard rate or discounted rate. Once you're happy with all the information you've entered, click Create to save it. If you need to make changes later, don't worry, you can edit the data at any time. If you have multiple products or services, you can easily manage them by filtering, by colored flags and title, and also sorting in ascending or descending order by title, creation date, update time, description, publish date, title, or unit label. That's it for the products or services section. You're now ready to start adding and managing the products or services you offer. Now let's move to the suppliers section. This is where you'll track all the suppliers for your business or businesses. It's important to add your suppliers here as this information will be used in the finance and contract lifecycle modules, whether you're creating an invoice or setting up agreements. When adding a new supplier, here's the information you'll need. Name and legal name. These can be the same or different depending on your supplier's details. Tax IDs, you can add the tax type and the tax identification number. Email and phone, enter the supplier's contact details. In the address section, you'll enter the address line for flexibility. In case the address is longer, you have an additional line, the city, the postal code, and country. And in the payment information section, you can enter the payment net days. This is the number of days after the invoice is issued when the payment is due. You also have the default currency, the main currency your supplier uses, the international bank account number, which is used for international transactions, and the SWIFT code. This code identifies the bank for international payments. Once you're added your suppliers, you can manage them by filtering based on colored flags, key unique identifier, name or legal name, and also by sorting in ascending or descending order by name, address, email, currency, language, and more. You can choose between list view or grid view to display your suppliers, whichever you prefer. In list view, you can export supplier data by clicking the export button. And also you can customize your view by selecting which columns to show using the columns button. As you can see, in Setup section, the first area to complete when creating an Appesco account, this section integrates seamlessly with other Appesco modules, helping you streamline your work by avoiding repetitive data entry. For additional questions about this module, feel free to reach out. And stay tuned for more videos on other Appesco modules.